discuss about my babies. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an understanding about pit bulls and how really they're just big babies. Okay, so these are a couple of pictures and I think they're adorable. Okay, so my topics today that I'm going to discuss are my babies, of course. I have two. Dog fights, how the owner is held responsible, and how really the dogs are victims. The nanny dog, which that is pretty much the nickname for pit bulls, and then how pit bulls are the victims. Okay, so this is my first dog. His name's Dalton. I've had him for 6 years. He's the biggest baby that I've ever met. Every dog, like the little dogs, like the little ankle biters, they're so much more mean than my dog would ever think about being.
Pointing towards the computer.
Okay, and then this is my second dog, and he's chewing on a binky, and we've had him for about 6 months. His personality, he's kind of a dumb dog, but it's okay because he's really sweet. So those are my two babies. And now I'm going to discuss pit bull fights. And these pictures are kind of graphic just because that's kind of how they're put. So the first one is the owner is held responsible. In most cases, you guys have seen dogs probably all your life, and a dog is a man's best friend. They really care about the person, and usually the person cares about their dog. But in dog fights, as you can see in the picture, those people up there, those are more than likely the owners. And the dogs would not be fighting unless they were trained. Just like kids. Kids are trained. We're all like taught what not to do, how to do things. And I feel like pit bulls are, I don't know how to say it. They're blamed for like their fights and stuff, and they're banned from a lot of places because of how aggressive they get, but that's what they're taught to do. And you know, sometimes it's not all about the teaching. Sometimes you get a bad dog, like humans. Sometimes a person can come from a bad family and they turn out bad. Sometimes a person can come from a good family, but then they still turn out bad. It's just the luck of the draw. It depends on what you get. And then the aftermath. I think this one is the big one that kind of hurts my feelings because I care about my dogs. Both of them. Like, I love them. And this, a lot of times, the people starve their dogs so that whenever they get in the pen, they're more aggressive and they just, it's so awful. I had a video attached, but it was really long, so I just took it off. And he has his head stuck in a can. More than likely, he was like in full force, and when he ran, he just got his head stuck. So pit bull fights, really bad, but really they're just nanny dogs. So protective, my dog is extremely protective. They have a high, like, I don't know how to say it. They're really caring. Like, no matter who you are, a dog doesn't care if you're fat, skinny, sick, whatever. If you have addictions, they don't care. They love you for you. You take care of them, and they feel that. So they protect you. They really care about everything that you do, and they care about who comes around you. Like my dog, he will not let any guy come around me, or he won't let anybody go around my dad. But you know, if we're walking outside, he's perfectly fine. Anybody can come up and pet him. He is the friendliest dog. And then sensitivity is my next part to this. Oh, my dog is sensitive. Very, very sensitive. He whines whenever we leave, just about like any dog. A pit bull is just like every other dog. And it makes me angry whenever people say that pit bulls are so mean. It's because they're taught that way, or they're just not the right pig, I guess. But that's just like Chihuahuas. Oh my gosh, those things are mean. They are mean dogs. They might be small, so they don't have a big bite, so they're not seen for, you know, what they do or what they bite. But if a pit bull is to get a hold of somebody, they could do damage. But I'm sure if a Chihuahua had a big enough bite, they would probably hurt somebody too. So that's the nanny dog. And then my next point is pit bulls are the victims. And how is they always get blamed for being aggressive, mean, and like I've said before, it just depends on the person, how they're brought up, if they feel like they get enough love, or if they're cared for. It doesn't, it's not the dog itself, it's how it's treated. And a story for how is, I read this thing, I think it was on CNN, this girl posted on Facebook about how her pit bull was bit on the nose by a Chihuahua. Those things are mean. And he was bleeding really bad. Like, the Chihuahua attacked his face. And this dog was brought up good, thank God. And he didn't do anything. He whined and he ran back to his owner. And like his bottom lip was like tore off. It was bad. And because this dog was raised right, he didn't react to that. He just went back to his owner to get help. And they had a whole big lawsuit about putting the Chihuahua down, and the lady was like, my dog could not have done that because it's so little. But, you know, it depends on how you view things, and really just don't do that to a pit bull. I know they're like, they look mean, but they're really not. Just give them a chance. And then my other point is why. Because they look aggressive, this is why many people think it's okay to just downsize the dog, I guess, in a way. Like the Chihuahua thing, like my dog couldn't do that to your dog because your dog's a pit bull. I'm sure your dog was the reason for it. And I just don't see how this is right. It's just like every other dog that you have. If a dog attacks a person, they're going to get put down. You know, that's just how it is. But in reality, you can't blame a specific breed for being violent when really it's who trains them. And a lot of people do train pit bulls to be mean because they are more aggressive and they can hold their own and they're really protective. So, okay. I don't know why it's skipping. Okay, well I have 2 more slides. Okay, here it is. Okay, so today I've discussed with you about my babies and how I just love them. And then dog fights, the nanny dog, and how pit bulls are the victims. And to leave you guys today with something, this is a pit bull, and he was in World War II, according to CNN and this magazine. But it was Sergeant Stubby, and I just thought it was adorable because they had a pit bull that, you know, helped them through the war, and he was pretty much the dog that gave them the ability to feel, because I know a lot of when people are in war, they detach themselves from family and stuff like that, like with post-traumatic stress, so they use this dog. That's my speech.